let's face it, we're all a little bit strapped for cash right now, so I'm on a mission to find the best staycations that the UK has to offer, so you don't need to move from your sofa. Welcome to Leeds. Leeds has loads more to offer than just the nightlife and shopping. In fact, there are tons of things to do if you're a visitor to the city. If it's fresh air you're after, why not walk or cycle along the Leeds-Liverpool Canal? The Trans-Pennine Trail also starts in Leeds right alongside the Royal Armouries, and it follows several miles of peaceful paths along the River Aire and the Aire Calder navigation. Or why not have a picnic in one of Britain's best preserved abbeys, Kirkstall Abbey? Leeds is home to some amazing architecture, so when you wander around the city, make sure you look up. There's just so much to see. Like these magnificent 8-foot gold owls here at the Civic Hall. Now, owls are a key feature to the city of Leeds, and they're also featured on the coat of arms as well. Sir John Savile was an MP for Leeds, and when the coat of arms was designed over 400 years ago, they used sheep to represent the wool trade, and the owls came from Savile's own historical family coat of arms. There was a rumour that a 200-foot gold owl was going to be built, Angel of the North style, on one of the main roads into Leeds, which I personally think would be quite cool. These majestic lions guard the town hall, but if it's art you're after, then follow me. The Leeds City Art Gallery is just up the road and it's free to get in. It's open 7 days a week and it's home to a fantastic collection of 20th century art. Now, the Henry Moore Institute next door is entirely devoted to sculpture. In fact, you can see some fantastic pieces without even going inside. Moore's monumental bronze reclining woman can be found lounging permanently at the top of the gallery steps. Sculpture is everywhere in Leeds. There's even a sculpture trail, which is great fun to do with the kids. Check out the grand figure of the Black Prince in City Square. In Dortmund Square, it's one of the busiest junctions of the hedgerow. The barrelman eternally lifts a keg of beer. Now, this chap was a gift to Leeds from the German city of Dortmund, and he's been living here since 1980. Clarence Dock is well worth a visit. It was primarily used for the transportation of goods on barges to and from Leeds using the Leeds-Liverpool Canal. But by the 1900s, the docks were barely used, and so most of the industrial buildings around the dock lay derelict. This was before the building of the Royal Armouries Museum, which marked the start of the redevelopment of the area. The Royal Armouries was the first attraction to be added to the Clarence Dock development, and it houses the UK's national collection of arms and armouries, including artillery, and what's more, it's free to get in. You can also take a trip on one of the cruise boats as well. It travels here from Clarence Dock, down the River Aire, onto Brewery Wharf and then onto Granary Wharf, and the boat leaves every hour from each section of the waterfront. James Martin's exclusive restaurant is also here, and if you visit on the weekend, you can be pretty sure that James is in the kitchen. Built in 1864, the Corn Exchange is one of the finest Victorian Grade 1 listed buildings. Now just one of 3 corn exchanges in this country which still operates in its traditional capacity as a centre for trade. Leeds Corn Exchange sits right at the heart of the local community, and it's certainly a cultural icon. If you're hungry, downstairs you'll find Anthony's restaurant, which is the perfect place for brunch. The Adelphi pub is just a 5-minute walk from Briggate or Brewery Wharf. It's got bags of character, a great choice of beers, and each room is different as well. So I'd go as far to say as it's a quirky pub. Leeds is dubbed the Knightsbridge of the North, and it prides itself on a sharp and stylish image, which is very much reflected in the shops. Leeds has a whopping 4.3 million square feet of retail space within 5 miles of shopping streets, including one of the largest pedestrianised shopping areas. The Victorian Quarter is more than 100 years old, and back in the early 19th century, the goods that were sold here are very different to the ones that we see today. It was predominantly meat and haberdashery, and even the working rules were strict. Men and women had to work on separate floors. Eating, drinking and gossiping were strictly forbidden, and so was the wearing of bonnets, but that was for the women and not the men. Around 1900, a famous architect called Frank Matcham was called upon to build an elaborate Victorian arcade using rich marbles, gilded mosaics, polished mahogany and wrought iron. He created 2 streets, an arcade and the Empire Theatre. The theatre site is now home to Harvey Nichols. Leeds reinforced its stylish credibility back in 1996 with the opening of Harvey Nicks, which was the first regional store outside of London. Today, the Victoria Quarter is a unique blend of old and new. And it's even made it into the Guinness Book of Records for its dramatic stained glass roof, which runs the full length of Queen Victoria Street. It's actually the largest stained glass window in Britain, and designers such as Vivienne Westwood have stores in the historic Leeds Kirkgate is the largest covered market in Europe, and it's housed in a fantastic Edwardian Grade 1 listed building. Around 800 traders sell anything here, from fruit and veg right through to the obscure and downright exotic. And it was here from humble beginnings that a national shopping institution was born. The Penny Bazaar would have been here back in the 1800s, and that is what we now know as Marks and Spencer. If you're after a great bar, a daring brasserie, or even a slinky room for the night, then look no further than the Leeds Mall. It might be the chic capital of the north, but that's not to say that all of Leeds' accommodation is ultra expensive. You can do it on the cheap. Now, my suggestions would be the Ibis Leeds or the Travel Lodge, where you can get a standard double room for as little as £26, or you could try the Central Hotel, which is right near the city centre action and charges as little as £28 per night. This modern cocktail bar not only gives you a panoramic view of the city, but also of the rolling hills of Yorkshire beyond. The beautiful Otley Inn is a wild ridge composed of woodland, heath and rocky outcrop, with plenty of good paths and forest trails, which make for great walks. So there we have it. Leeds is without a doubt one of the best places to consider if you're thinking about a staycation. It's got plenty to offer, from super chic shopping to the best arts and history, right through to the perfect sunset. And what's more, you can do it on a budget or you can have a complete blowout. So whatever works for you, Leeds is definitely not one to miss.